A warm welcome to everybody. This is Tree Leaf. I'm Taigu, and I'm back with you to talk about the okesa again. And this time I would like to talk about sewing. To create okesa, to create the robe, we have two ways. We might use small patches of fabric which we put together in a kind of pattern. And we may also use a single piece of fabric on which we lay stripes. But whatever we do sewing by hand. We don't use a machine, sewing machine, and we shouldn't. Now, there's nothing to stop you doing that. You may, if you wish. But let me tell you what I think about this sewing machine issue. The core of our practice is to do something without cultivating a goal, without being over preoccupied with an aim. And the sewing machine is a very convenient device, but that reveals a rush. What we need to experience in sewing the okesa is a certain amount of waiting, a certain amount of it's getting slow, I'm getting frustrated, when shall this finish? All these things, all these thoughts and patterns of our ego-driven person, individual, should rise and be brought to our attention. Now, we are doing a spiritual activity. Again, I don't like this word spiritual, but we're doing Buddhist activity. And you might have prepared your patches, cut your fabric, and you start sewing, and then what you discover is that the idea you had of sewing, don't disturb me, darling, I'm sewing, the sacred sort of action turns into a wow, making mistakes, having to undo things, getting fingers bleeding and getting extremely irritated. The culprit is showing off, and that's precisely what sewing reveals first. So far from being that holy and wonderful person with whiffs of incense and great meditative state, you're just a mess. Don't worry, I'm a mess, you're a mess, everybody is. Cut the crap. The second thing, when you sew, you want to talk. And I've been doing sewing with groups of people, and they are so chatty, so noisy. I think when sewing, we should shut up. Bit like sitting, you know. We can't shut up anyway, it goes on. But at least, not act it, not do it, but just be a witness of this constant flow of junk and flowers in the brain, in the body, in the being. We're sewing small stitches, yeah. Don't be overexcited or over trying to make them as small as possible, as I used to in the past. Quite neurotic actually. Just so small. Steady, rhythm. These stitches, what do they represent? Of course we can dive into the symbolical field of the stitches. We can look at them as being the rice field, symbolizing food. The breath, the breathing, each stitch is a breath. We can look at them as being the countless human beings and sentient beings, not just human beings, that the Buddha activity is instantly, entirely, totally saving. Not saving because there is somebody to save and somebody who is saved. Saving because it's embraced unconditionally in a state of samadhi. So, yes, but these are also stitches. It's back stitch. It's got to be rather regular and beautiful at the front and as well as the back. Just a bit like what you give the world, the body and the mind match, back and front, one and same nature. This teaching is also the bond. It's a gesture in which I link moment to moment. I connect person to person, individual to individual. Very important. Because we live in a world where we are constantly separating. I think that, in my opinion, this is my life, this is my house, my car, my husband, my wife. See what I mean? So the activity of sewing is with one thread, embracing, making with many, one, with one, making the many. Now I've got to go to the station actually. What does this has to do with talk on the Kesa? Well, there's a member of Tree Leaf, a new member that I have to pick up. He lives next door. He lives in Amagasaki, and I live in Nishinomiya. So we're gonna sit this morning together and share a cup of tea or coffee and talk a bit. So guys, have a great time. I don't know when Judo is. I think he is in Hokkaido having a great time in the nature. And I'm going to post this today and say hello to everybody and good luck with your sewing, preparation of the Ango, thinking about Jukai, and hello to the guys that are sewing the big Kesa, and lots of thoughts to all of you. Take care. Have a great time. Bye bye.